and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday, and you know what that means. It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, that old cagey outlaw, Waylon Jennings. It is the weekly purchases, and we got a huge weekly purchases this week. You're going to see a lot of stuff in the back end, a lot of wrestling, a lot of other stuff. And man, oh man, I'm burning the candle at both ends here as we're gearing up towards San Diego Comic-Con. A ton of stuff going on, and we'll get to that here in a second. But first, got to thank Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to thank them for sponsoring this very episode of Weekly Purchases. And if you want to sponsor a video, hit up TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, of course. But a lot of stuff picked up at Jay's each and every week. Deals to be had in that new arrival section. That's where I live, over there at Jay's. So check it out if you have not already. And this week, we got some giveaways going on. Of course, my podcast, you guys know The Kyle Peterson Show by now. Every single Tuesday, where podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube, available right now for Patreon and YouTube channel members. But this week, I guess this Tuesday, Midwest Professional Wrestling legend Gage Octane joins me as my co-host, and we'll get to that here in a second. But the following Tuesday after that, I am going to give away a Great Muta Superstars. I got this for Mr. Octane, and he decided he only needed one, so I had an extra. I said, I'm going to give it away. And all you got to do to be entered to win this one is go to your preferred platform to listen to your podcast, search The Kyle Peterson Show, give it a 5-star review, screen grab it, email TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, and bada boom, bada bing, you're in the running for this Great Muta. So make sure you get that one done. And I will pull the name out of the hat on, of course, the podcast the following week. So if you want a chance at the Great Muta, you know what to do. You know what to do. And speaking of the podcast, I said Midwest Professional Wrestling legend Gage Octane joins me this week for a spirited conversation where we talk his acting career, we talk his pro wrestling career, we talk about his favorite figure, and all points in between. And he's got a deep cut album of the week. We break it all down and we cover it because my wife, Angie, of course, Angie broke the internet last week in weekly purchases. A lot of people, most people, I'd say 99% of the people enjoyed it. And how could you not enjoy that? Angie from the pool, what more could we want? But some people said, oh, you're just trying to get clickbait. Oh, you're just trying to do that. This wasn't me. This is my wife, of course, here. She came. She said, I'm just wearing this. I don't care. And my wife's a free spirit. She's the greatest. Those that know her, to know her is to love her, as most would say. She always makes an impression wherever she goes, and she's a good time, as you can imagine. But she was the one that did that. And I said, we're going to put it, I joked. I said, I should put this as the thumbnail and take a little thing. And I saw that, you know, more people watch the weekly purchases with her in the thumbnail than usual. And I'm a little disappointed. So I pulled in the big guns this week. I got a Sam Crenshaw t-shirt. Yeah, that's Sam Crenshaw. That's a heavy hitter, Todd McFarlane. You know all about that being up in Canada. You know about Sam Crenshaw. His legend looms large. And I'm sure in the thumbnail of this one, when they see Sam Crenshaw, man, Angie, move over. You and your swimsuit, get out of here. Sam Crenshaw, it's today's special. Shout it loud and clear. That's what we're going to do. But man, shout out to my wife, though. Always keeping it interesting, always having fun. And of course, my co-host normally of the podcast, she'll be back the week later. And she's in the city of brotherly love as we speak right now. So if you're in Philadelphia, she's doing those tourist things. She's hitting around town. You might bump into her. Who knows what's going on? But she's having fun with her sister, her nephew, and her mom. Oh boy, that's a wild crew. A wild crew. But my wife, always having fun, and she enjoyed that episode of Weekly Purchases, and maybe we'll make it a 4th of July yearly event where she'll just do a bikini every year. Somebody even said I should do a Angie calendar every year, so we're just going to exploit Angie. We're going to do that. We're going to start selling feet pics. We're going to start doing calendars of her. We're just going to ramp it up. We're going to ramp it up. That's what we're going to do. Maybe not, but she wouldn't care, so maybe we should. Maybe we should, but shout out to my Angie for being a good sport. Shout out to everybody that enjoyed the video, of course, as well. But a lot going on, and Angie's gone. Like I said, she won't be in the weekly purchases this week doing question of the week. Gonna have to fly solo on that. So we'll see what happens. And I do got to give a special shout out to my dad for announcing the podcast. He stepped in for Gage Octane, who was guest co-host. So a little musical chairs this week. But shout out to my dad as usual. I was in Omaha this week. Check out the toy hunt video. Having a lot of fun over there in Omaha. Well, kind of went to a meeting and then hit some stores. But I did find some stuff, so that was always good. And now I'm taking the kids all around. I'm in charge of these kids and all these dogs and everything. So while my wife's gone, I got some more stuff to do. And you're going to see I got a lot of stuff for weekly purchases. And that's where I'm burning the candle at both ends, trying to do the day job, which is extra busy, as we all know. On top of all this and juggling the kids and all that and getting prepared for San Diego Comic-Con. This week, I traveled to Minnesota for another quick little in and out. I'm the master of the quick in and out. I'll be up there in Minnesota. Got to give a presentation. Come on back. Just a lot going on. A lot going on. It's a busy life, but I guess better busy than boring is what I would say. So a lot to go, and I got a lot of unboxings to get to. Trust me, I will get to them all. As usual, Patreon gets the stuff first. So is what it is. You guys know the drill by now. I will be a part of Toy YouTubers Unite. I'm not sure all the details on this, but I'm on the poster. 8 to 10 Pacific time. What would that be, like the 25th, I think? You can see the graphic. But check it out on YouTube. I'm sure more as we get closer to that. Of course, part of the San Diego Comic-Con festivities. More in the future. Also, this week, checked out the Ozzy farewell, the Black Sabbath farewell. Oh, I'm going to miss Sabbath. I'll miss Ozzy too, of course. But quite the show, if there ever was one. Who's who in metal, for the most part, getting there. Of course, Scorpions, Judas Priest were over in Germany with Alice Cooper. They had the 60th anniversary of the Scorpions concert. Terrible it was the same day, but it is what it is. But man, oh man, I'm going to miss Black Sabbath. Not that Black Sabbath's really been doing anything for a long time anyways, but really the gateway for many into metal, whether you know it or you don't know it. So shout out to Ozzy, shout out to Sabbath. Shout out to Todd McFarlane for coming out with an Ozzy figure, always capitalizing a little statue action last week as well. But that's it for the housekeeping, I think, except for one last thing. I almost forgot. Traditional Patreon giveaway, 2 Target exclusive Hulk Hogan's this week. Patreon members, of course, month of July. I will have an exclusive Q&A video up there on top of everything else in the podcast. You guys name it. You know about Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Check it out if you want to get in for some Hogan's. But now it's time. It's time for the question of the week. All right, time for question of the week. And if you want to be the question of the week, put your question in the comments of this very video, and you too could be question of the week. My wife, Angie, will be back next week. We'll see what she wears. I don't think it'll be a swimsuit, but you never know. You never know. But of course, some people were saying you should have had a longer question of the week last week. Well, only got one question. If I could have got multiples, you never know. It could have been an hour-long Q&A, but is what it is. But I do got 2 questions this week. I'm going to do 2 questions this week, and we're going to kick it off with Craig Bates, K5H. Kyle, I've got a question for question of the week. Do you ever have any figures that always fall over, even though when you stand them up, they are sturdy as hell and shouldn't possibly fall? Or is it just the fact they come alive at night and just don't get back in position quick enough? Now, I think we all have, if you're a collector, a loose collector, obviously, maybe been on card, but mostly loose, we all have a couple of figures that just do not want to stand for the life of you. And I don't know, I can't think of many off the top of my head. I think most of them stand. Sometimes you got to buckle the knees just right. You got to get them in their right pose. But the ones that fall for me the most, and it's a dangerous game because I hate it whenever I walk into my Masters Universe room and I see a couple of these guys on the floor, because it's always seconds away from a disaster, an expensive disaster, as we do know. But one line that always seems to fall a lot for me is the Masters of the Universe Classics. For whatever reason, the Classics figures, a lot of those guys will do some nosedives from time to time. A lot of them, I have them bent back a little bit with the knees, so if they want to fall, at least they're kind of weighted backwards. I do a lot of that. And also in that same room, I do have some struggles with Mythic Legions of all things. And that's always dangerous. You have a big dragon, he takes a header down. You're like, oh my gosh, is that a $75 issue? It could be. And I've had a few figures fall. I can't think. I had one figure break, and it was probably a year ago, and I forget which one it was. And he took a header off there. It doesn't happen, thankfully, very often that they break on a fall, but it happens. I think we've all been there. I'd love to hear your story. We've all had a figure fall. We've probably all had a figure break. There's just nothing more infuriating. Well, there is. Of course there is, Todd. But, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal because it's your action figure you spent your hard-earned money on, of course. But always dangerous. But the Classics and the Mythic Legions, for me personally, are the ones that seem to jump the most. I don't really have any issues with wrestling. I can't think of any wrestling ones. G.I. Joe's pretty solid, even though that retro Zartan, his leg broke. I picked him up and touched it and just crumbled the dust in my hands. Oh my gosh. Still frustrated me on that one. But nothing else really jumps out. Just those 2 is mine. But you guys tell me yours in the comments down below. And last question this week from Chad Smith. Isn't he the drummer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Am I dreaming that? He was at the Black Sabbath show, I think. Is it Chad Smith? It's Smith. Chad Smith? Play with it. Just play along. Kyle Peterson, my question is, what do you think was Eric Embry? What do you think was Eric Embry's best time in wrestling? I liked it when he feuded with Skandar Akbar and his faction. I don't know any other Embry fans, so glad you are. Thanks. Enjoy your show. I have talked and professed my love since the infancy of this YouTube channel for one Eric Embry. Very underrated, classic Memphis guy, like a young Bill Dundee, Jerry the King Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, I guess Jerry Jarrett too. He's just kind of out of that scene there. Of course, I think Alabama, Mississippi, kind of that whole scene there, Kentucky. A lot of people don't know Eric Embry, and a weird dynamic for me, and I am with Chad Smith here. That is my favorite time because that's when I saw him. The majority of that I saw in that USWA stuff, him feuding with Skandar Akbar's army. That was little Kyle running home watching this on ESPN back in the day. Unfortunately, I didn't live in Memphis, so I didn't get to see any of his other stuff, really. That was the prime of what I've seen out of Eric Embry, and many years later saw some other matches and things like that. But for me, you always remember kind of your first time, and that is my favorite time. But it's just one of those things, and I couldn't explain it as a little kid. Of course, being a little kid, I love me some Ultimate Warrior. You watch the WWF back then, you see the Powers of Pain, you see the Road War. I mean, you see all the heavy hitters, larger-than-life characters. And then here's Eric Embry just looking like your uncle that's got a couple of beers in him, and he's ready to take on everybody. And guess what? I believed it. I believed every single day. I believed that Eric Embry was right in that mix, even looking like that. So that tells you that wrestling, there's a lot more than just looks. There's a lot more than just your body. It's how you connect to the people. And Eric Embry, for whatever reason, he reached out and touched little like 7 and 8-year-old Kyle. And he touched me all over. And still to this day, I never forgot that touch of Eric Embry. But always loved his classic punches. And then many years later, I realized, wait, Jeff Jarrett has this punch. Bill Dundee has this punch. Jerry Lawler has this punch. The Memphis punch. But man, something about it. I don't know. But it was one of those things I feel like you had to be there or you would just dismiss it. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But I absolutely love that. And when you're a little kid just getting into wrestling, you'll take in any wrestling. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's where I was. And I absolutely loved it. I ate it up with a fork and a spoon. I even grabbed a spork from time to time, as I always do say. So that is the question of the week. And once again, you want to be the question of the week? Put it in the comments down below. But now we got to get down to it. Let's get down to an almighty weekly purchases. All right, looks like we got about 2 rounds of weekly purchases this week, and we're going to dive in and we're going to do wrestling first, everything else in the second round, so stay tuned for that. Let's go to Ringside Collectibles through the door this week. Elite Series 119. Now, I've been working my way through. Reviews already up and headed to Patreon for the ones that are missing. It is, of course, 119. All Ego Ethan Page. We got Liv Morgan. Thea Hale. I don't know who that is exactly. Dexter Loomis from the Wyatt 6, of course. We got Braun Breaker. He's got the dog in him. That's what I've been told. He's got him. And then we got Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio through the door as well. So Elite 119. Going to have to hunt down the John Cena Walmart exclusive part of that in the future. So stay tuned, I guess. But we did get those unboxed here on the channel. Check them out if you missed them. Also, in my travels to beautiful Nebraska, I was at Target and I did come across the Cody Rhodes top picks. Target having a heck of a sale this week with the Target Circle, some of the clearance stuff. I took full advantage of that. Got a lot of deals at Target this week, and the stars aligned with some new stuff hitting at the same time. So that was pretty good for me. Amazon had some deals going on. I didn't pick up anything. Walmart, I didn't pick up anything on deal. I don't know. Prime Day, is it what it once was? Maybe I just didn't look hard enough. I didn't have a lot of time this week. But I did pick up the new top picks, Cody Rhodes. But speaking of Cody Rhodes, we got Cody and his dog Pharaoh. How about that? The Ringside Collectible exclusive. Got to give a shout out to Mattel for sending this my way. And of course, you can pick this up at Ringside with code Kyle to save yourself 10%. But we will unbox this on the channel. Trust me, we'll get to everything eventually here. And we're not done with Mattel. They also sent me The Undertaker, Phantom of the Undertaker here. We got that one. Of course, this is a future Target exclusive, as we do know. Have to imagine you'll be able to find this on Mattel Creations as well. So be on the lookout for that. And then this week, my buddy Adam was out on the hunt, and he came across Jey Uso Black Shoes Edition. And then, of course, he grabbed this for me. And then the next day on my fig hunt, I found it as well. But I did pick this one up. You know, a lot of the Ultimates I buy multiples of. Jay was one I probably wasn't going to, but then they added the black shoes variant. I said, all right, there's enough meat on the bone to make 2 different figures here. That's exactly what I did. So I got Jay through the door, but the big one Adam found on the hunt for me was the Great Muta. It is the NWO edition. On the hunt for the chase still. All I need is the chase for this one. I'm not feeling it. I guess I'm going to have to wait for my Walmart pre-order. Fingers crossed on that. I think all the shippers have hit my area by now. So we'll see what happens. But I am on the hunt for that Muta. But I did get this one. We'll unbox this sooner rather than later. And I also didn't bring them for weekly purchases because I had a bunch last week and I couldn't remember. But I got all the WWE superstars except for the Chase Jake, except for the Chase Muta. But I had to get 2 of the regular Mutas, 3 of the regular Mutas, that is, to display both looks. But I did get my unpunched min on card for all of them. I did get my loose ones for all of them. So now I'm just after 3 Great Muta chases. Oh my gosh. And then 2 Jake Roberts chases. So hopefully those come across once again sooner rather than later. But I did pick up a lot of those this week as well. Got to give a special Good Brothers shout out to the Hot Take Kid, Phil Gentile, of course, of the Fig Cave podcast. Check out the Fig Cave, of course. He did help me find this one, and I did just a cost plus shipping. Good brother deal right there. I did get the Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland, AEW Chase figures. So shout out to the Fig Cave podcast. Once again, check them out. Not done. Did pick this one up at Walmart. It is The Rock in that cow print. Oh, the cow print. Rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling. Goofy enough I had to pick up right there. So I did get The Rock this week. And then another one from Mattel. It is the Hall of Champions 4-pack. A lot of discussion on this one. And nobody's right. Nobody's really wrong. But a lot of people trying to fantasy book their 4-pack. I think they should have done it by generations. It is a strange 4-pack. And people coming at me for the Warrior. Come on, what are we doing here? You guys know I love the Warrior. And a lot of people, you can tell, don't know I joke around a lot on this channel. The real ones know I joke around. But it's so funny when people get all worked up about Duke and the Ultimate Warrior. I just laugh inside a little bit because I like to have fun, and apparently some people just don't understand my sense of humor. But the ones that have been around long enough know my sense of humor. But I did get the Hall of Champions. Check out this one. A fun pack. I got to say, a little disappointed in that Warrior. I talked about it in the video. Definitely happy to have it, but I wish he was a little bit taller, like a young too short, right? Todd McFarlane, is that who said that? I don't know. I don't know my rap very well. Wish he was a little taller, and that face just, something's missing there. So we'll see what happens in the future there. And last but not least for wrestling, I got a little bit of a birthday present in the mail. It is good brother Johnny Utah. He sent me something interesting, the Arena Stairs playset from Figures Toy Company. So I will dive into this eventually here on the channel. I've been threatening it for months at this point to rebuild my arena. The infancy of this YouTube channel, I used to have an arena set up, and then we had to replace our the water heater and the furnace and all that stuff. So I had to take all that stuff down. I never put it back up. Maybe I'll finally get around to doing that. I need to clear some stuff around. Like I said earlier, I am just 100 miles per hour, burning the candle at both ends. There's reviews to do, and I just got a mess. My collection is a disaster right now. I got piles of figures all over the place that I need to put away. I need to reorganize. I need to redo some shelves. I need like a 2-week vacation just to spend down here to get where I want. And there is no possible way I'll ever get, a full week's vacation. San Diego Comic-Con, I'm taking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. And then I'm just back to the salt mines on Monday. So it's impossible, unfortunately, for me to ever really get meaningful time off. And it's something I'm working on. Work-life balance is a thing, and I need to work on it better. I don't know, but I'm one of those guys, I think when I do stop and I sit down, I'll probably die. And that's what happens. I know a few of them. That's probably going to be me. But there it is. That's round 1 of weekly purchases. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop the clock. Late breaking delivery here. Got done with weekly purchases. Went upstairs, went to the mailbox, and what did I found? A special delivery from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Don't forget the Gimmicks part of it, of course, as we got Tatanka, the Native American, rides again. But he didn't come alone. He come with another version of himself, Tatanka Part 2. And of course, you can't have 2 Tatankas without one more. What's one more? 3 Tatanka figures from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Shout out to that with the sellout slam. I like that little touch there, but we're not done with Grapplers and Gimmicks. We got the, New York Toy Fair, San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. We got Godfather, and we got Quang the Ninja, the Puerto Rican Ninja rides again. 1 of 500 Quang and 1 of 500 Godfather. A big Grapplers and Gimmicks loadout today. All right, time for round number 2, the final round of weekly purchases and everything but wrestling in this round here. And I gotta give a special shout out to Jay's Toys and Games. I said I needed a second one, so I picked up a second Orko so I could do both looks right here. Had to do it, found this, saved myself 15%. Gotta get a deal. you know how it goes. So I did pick that one up. Also played a little of that long game, did find this bad boy. This is one I really didn't want, and I did say in my toy hunt videos, if it goes to $19.99 on clearance, I will pick it up. Saw a lot of stores $26 this week, but then I go to one Target and magically, what is it? $19.99. Save 10% or $10, I guess, more like it. With the Target Circle over 40, I grabbed a couple other things. Ended up getting this guy pretty cheap. So I didn't feel too bad when you got a big deluxe mega figure cheaper than a regular McFarlane figure. That's a good day at the office, if you ask me. So I did pick that one up. Not done yet. I did find this on my trip to Nebraska. It was one of those no good Ben Cooper kids just hanging around and just a couple of his buddies, but nobody else I needed. It was the Godzilla edition. So I did pick that one up this week over there in Nebraska. And the hits keep on coming in Nebraska. The long game, it pays off. I've been saying it. I needed a second one, waiting for clearance, down to $15. Check your local Walmart. Saw it at a lot of Walmarts over the week. $15 for that one there. Couldn't pass that up for sure. Also, the hits keep on coming. It's a dangerous, slippery slope. What are we doing? We've done it. That's so hard to say goodbye. I don't know how many times, but then I'm diving back into some of these Transformers, and Studio 86 is really what it's about for me. And I didn't really need this Bumblebee. I got a really good Bumblebee in my collection, but this was on clearance for $10, and then there was that deal going on, so I saved even more. So I didn't feel so bad about the purchase there, but I did pick up Bumblebee, Studio 86, got Ultra Magnus last week. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not exactly sure. Mentioned this earlier too. I did find this at Target in Omaha. It is the Target exclusive NECA Dracula. Looking pretty in red right there. And then there's going to be a Walmart exclusive coming very soon as well. So be on the lookout for that shortly. But I did get that one through the door. Also went to GameStop, used my $5 monthly credit, used my other credit. Got this guy a little cheaper. I don't know why I got it because I originally passed, but you know me, I'm a sucker at the end of the day. I did pick up Blood Axe, the big deluxe Blood Axe. Of course, I remember the old school one once upon a time. Todd, you want to see? You made it. Yeah, there it is right there. But I did get Blood Axe and Horse, so I did pick this one up this week from old Uncle Todd over there at GameStop. But we're not done. Got to give a shout out to Savage Crucible over there. I really enjoy the Savage Crucible figures. The Lemurian figures are absolutely amazing. I personally believe it's one of the most underrated toy lines going today, but I did get the Savage Crucible here today. I got Nashorn the Disinherited. Yes, Disinherited right there. So I did pick him up. Also got a little Frazetta artwork right here. A very, very famous image there. The old Barbarian. Got this one. And then last but not least, I believe this guy's like a werewolf. I'm calling him a werewolf at least. It is Jaeger, Pittsburgh Penguins. Shout out, of course. But I did get 3 Savage Crucibles through the door this week. Love me some Crucible. We'll be unboxing all this stuff eventually on the channel. Stay tuned. Subscribe to both YouTube channels, Patreon. You guys get the gist by now. And we're about done. Last but certainly not least, hot off the truck this week. One of the big movies this summer here is this one. Obviously, Superman in theaters now. I have not seen Superman yet. Still on the fence. I might go see it. But the kids, my kids that is, wanted to see the new Jurassic Park movie. So we did go see that, and we went and saw it in 4D. Yes, 4D. There was stuff spitting at us. We were smelling the grass. We were riding the roller coaster chairs. We had the 3D glasses on. Quite the experience for sure. Too expensive if you ask me though. It was like $80 for 3 tickets. It was a wild time, but I did take the kids to that this week. They really enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. It was kind of, you know what you get yourself into. And it was like, I saw, being of course, Tom McFarlane, you know this as well, one class away from a minor in film, I could see how this story structure was going and it all played out. But if you like mindless entertainment, and that's the only entertainment I want it mindless. I want it mind numbing so I don't have to think. Perfect movie for you, Jurassic Park. But this movie I might have to go see. We'll see, though. I don't know if anybody wants to go see it with me is the problem. But I did get Reed Richards, of course, the Mandalorian himself. Sue Storm, you got to have the Invisible Woman. You got to have Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. And then, of course, The Thing. Of course, got to have him as well. It is the Fantastic Four. Still need to track down the Silver Surfer, but I got the Fantastic Four. We'll unbox those on the channel along the way. So there it is. That is another week of weekly purchases, another fairly busy week. Got my work cut out for me. Like I said, I'll be traveling to Minnesota this week for basically an in and out afternoon and then coming back in the morning the next day. But that eats up a lot of time with the travel time and all that. And then my wife is gone. Oh, Angie, we miss you. So there's a lot going on, but I'll get to it. I'll find time. And it's a very busy weekend for us wrestling fans. All in pay-per-view. You got Evolution. You got Bill Goldberg, the mighty return of Bill Goldberg. I personally think he'll win the title, and then Seth Rollins is going to cash in on him. That's what I think is going to happen. But I almost want to go over to my dad, see if my dad could film his reaction. We could do a reaction video with my dad because my dad doesn't really like wrestling that much, but he loved himself some Bill Goldberg. You know, he loved the Warlord. He loved Bill Goldberg. He has a type. He has a type, much like myself. But he's going to be all in on Bill Goldberg. This will be the first time he's watched wrestling in a long time. So I'm thinking about I should go over there and watch that with him. So we'll see what ends up happening. See if the stars align. See if I'm welcome in his house. You never know how that might go. But Bill Goldberg got a big match. And then you got NXT this weekend, too. On top of SmackDown, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on every single day. And I guess we'd have it no other way. No other way. So there it is. That is the weekly purchases. What did you come away with this week? Anything good? Anything great? Let me know what you got in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. Check out Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Check out my podcast, of course, each and every single Tuesday. Special episode this week with Gage Octane, already up on Patreon, but check it out Tuesday where podcasts are found, video cast on YouTube. You want to get into the mind of one Midwest professional wrestling legend, Gage Octane. Check out the podcast. Sir Paul 64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. So for another week of weekly purchases, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another work week.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Get that real